John Wall and a future first-round pick to the Rockets for who? Russell Westbrook. It's a deal that both players wanted and had been simmering for weeks, according to our Adrian Wojnarowski. This pick sent to Houston, along with Wall, is a lottery-protected 2023 selection. Woj reporting that. Stephen A. Smith, bigger deal. Tell me, is it Wall to Houston or is it Russ to Washington?
Well, I think it's Russ to Washington. That's how I'm feeling about it right now. When I think about Russell Westbrook, listen, the difference in skill set. Russell Westbrook is tenacious, so is John Wall. Russell Westbrook sits a little better from the field, not as good from three-point range, but they both have a locomotive. They go at 100 miles per hour. And that mentality that Russell Westbrook has, that dog in him where he is fiery all the time, going 100 miles per hour, backs down to no one. Not that John Wall isn't like that either, because he is to a degree, just not as demonstrative with it as Russell Westbrook is. I'm here to tell you right now, Chocolate City, the people that I know, I got a lot of loved ones there, they are going to love Russell Westbrook's attitude being in the Verizon Center. I'm here to tell you that right now. It's going to be something special with him and Bradley Beal, because unlike James Harden, who dribbles a lot before he wreaks havoc, Bradley Beal doesn't need to dribble that much in order to be the marksman that he is. And this is a brother that just finished averaging 30 for the season. Because I love me some Bradley Beal, even though some people that I know who will remain nameless ain't that high on him. And I'm telling you right now, I think it's a plus for them. But for me, the reason why it's also a plus is because even though I believe in John Wall and I know he can ball, I just don't see how this keeps James Harden wanting to stay in Houston, which is why I'm at a loss as to why Houston would do this deal, other than the fact that they tried to get rid of Russ. And, according to sources, a lot of folks they didn't want Russ because Russ can be fiery and very strong-willed and strong-headed. The Houston Rockets might have felt they got the best deal they could. I just don't see how this helps them more than, the skill set. Russell Westbrook and James Harden didn't want to play together, Max. We all know that. But I don't see how John Wall, who's very similar to Russell Westbrook, helps James Harden want to stay in Houston.
Clearly, the Wizards won this deal. And you want to know how the teams without GMs like Daryl Morey live? Like this. What is Houston signaling here? They're getting a first-round pick back. Like, if you want to know who's the better player, obviously Westbrook. He's 2 years older, but he's not coming off a catastrophic injury. He always plays with everything he's got and has been a greater player at his best than John Wall, although John Wall's been excellent. Neither one can really shoot. They have certain kind of similarities there. But one team had to include a first-round pick in the deal, and that team was Washington. Houston gets a first-round pick. So what are they really signaling with this? Because keeping James Harden, that's done. That ship has sailed. Harden's out of there. Everyone knows he's going to be traded. So really what Houston is signaling here, what Fertitta is signaling, I think, is, look, we're not going to try and win a championship next 3 years. I think it was a big mistake to let go of Daryl Morey. If I had Daryl Morey as a GM and he came into my office and said, I want to go somewhere else, I'd say, let's make this right. In terms of Washington, they have arguably the best backcourt in basketball right now. I mean, CP3 and Devin Booker, yeah, I'd take that as number one. So what's this, number two? Because Klay's hurt. Where does this rank in the NBA? Show me a better backcourt. Show me a backcourt you can say is definitively better than Westbrook and Bradley Beal. Neither one is an MVP right now. But you know how I have my star system, 4 an All-Star, 5 an MVP. They're All-Star pluses. Those are 2 4.5s in the backcourt. So, that's just about as good as it gets. And Washington goes from an afterthought, a nothing in the division. But Washington's going to be competitive this year. They're going to be fun to watch, and they're going to make the playoffs and maybe be a tough out. Let's see. They also got that Israeli kid in the draft, that big guard who people thought was going to go higher up. So, yep. In terms of where Washington is, they just improved.
이번에 준비한 영상 시청해주셔서 정말 감사하고 앞으로 더 흥미롭고 유익한 NBA 내용으로 돌아오겠습니다. 영상 재밌게 보셨다면 구독과 좋아요 부탁드리겠습니다. 감사합니다.